right from your Secretary of State website and the census, U.S. Census. So everything I'm about to show you now for the next couple of slides came from these two sources. So you can verify everything I'm about to show you. So this is since 1990, this is how many people in your state who are 18 and older. So it looks like in 1990 you had about 5 million people in the state of Georgia that were voting age. Yes? And it looks like right now you got something like 8.5 million, 8.3 million people of voting age. Those are not eligible voters. That's voting age. Actually, the blue curve should be a little lower for eligible voters because you're going to have illegal immigrants. You're going to have legal immigrants, but they're not able to vote. You're going to have people that are felons, and they're not allowed to. And on average, when I did this a couple years ago, I did this, on average, this line should be about 5% lower, on average. It's because about 5% of people are not eligible, even their voting age. So this is a conservative estimate, yes? Okay, here's the number of people that were registered for each of your elections since 1996. This is right off your Secretary of State website. How many people were registered to vote? And you'll notice that it tracks the population the trends track pretty well until when? Till 2014. After 2014, but 2016 is the first election. What happened there? Anybody know? Motor voter. That's when motor voter happened. And I was talking beforehand, I think it was to Gary, if it wasn't, it was somebody else. You guys have an opt-out system. If you go in and renew your driver's license, you're automatically registered to vote unless you tell them, don't register me to vote, and they don't ask. Okay? So if you're an illegal alien and you get your driver's license, which you are encouraged to do, you're automatically put into voter rolls, even though you didn't ask to be put into voter rolls. That's what happened here, and that's why your voter rolls suddenly surged. So you notice that your voter rolls are growing faster than your population. Yes? Now I'm going to make a strong comment. In every state in America, every state, and I could show you for every state because I've done every state, the voter rolls are growing faster than the population. In 8 states, it's growing so much faster that the rolls have gone right past the voting age population. They have more people in the voter rolls than they could possibly have. They don't have enough people to be that way. You have several counties that way in your state right now, and I'm glad to show you. Yeah.
I wondered for 3 years while this current administration has opened our borders to millions of people.
Wonder no more. Okay.
It just showed it's a cover up for the fraud.
There you go. All right, so you understand the curve so far? And all I'm doing is showing you data here. That's your population. That's how many people registered to vote. Here's how many people voted in every election. Usually I go back further in time. I must not have been able to find it. But what I usually find is there's a nice, steady, even pattern. Federal election, midterm. There's a, midterm, federal, midterm, federal, midterm. More people vote in federal elections than in midterms. And it's just, what I've noticed is in every state, this is a nice calm pattern. Until when? 2002, HAVA, Help America Vote Act, the federal government said, we can't vote this way anymore. We need everybody to vote with fancy new machines and putting everything online. And as soon as they started doing that, then suddenly the amplitude of this curve grew. And not only did it grow, it's also more volatile. So in other words, it's the nature of our voting has changed since we added machines. Machines shouldn't affect the outcome of the elections. It should just make the same numbers come out more efficiently. But that isn't what's happening. It's actually changed the whole character of our elections. By the way, 1993 was NVRA, National Voter Registration Act. So I usually see a stronger effect back here. So I didn't have the data to go back and show you that. But I would bet you money, bet you lunch, that this curve goes down here. Earlier in the 90s, there's a surge from that. I usually see 2 surges in a state. But anyway, just look at this for a minute. Imagine that this black curve just kept on going, tracking parallel to the purple curve. See what I'm saying? Let's say it was right in here. Then your turnout in 2020 would be like a 90% turnout or 95% turnout. Would you believe 90 to 95% of your people turned out to vote? Nobody would believe that. But if you can fill the rolls with a bunch of people who aren't real voters, Not only did you just gain a bunch of names you can stuff ballots for, you also disguised the fact that the turnout is ridiculously high. Okay? Something else to notice on here is your 2018 election was ridiculously high turnout. Higher than all your former federal elections except 2016. Ridiculously high. And usually when I come to a county, people say, oh, that was a special year. We had a special race, a lot of extra high turnout. Wrong. That's in every state in the country. Every state in the country had a huge turnout in 2018. And now I guess to this one. And I love what Seth Keshel says. He says, that was them getting us ready for this. So that we wouldn't recognize the difference. Now, if I just do a very simple calculation, if I say, here's the population trend, and I compare it to the trend of the registration rolls, you have about 1.5 million too many people in your voter rolls compared to your population trend. You should have tracked together, but because you changed something about the way you register people, you have that's about 21%. So that means about 1 in 5 of the people in your voter rolls probably don't even know they're in there, okay? And anybody who's done door knocking or canvassing has probably discovered how dirty your voter rolls are. And that's gonna be right where that is. All right. Now I can do this for every county. This is a lot of work, which is why nobody's ever done it, which is why you didn't see it before. This is how many people are registered to vote in every county. And you have 159 of them, 157? 159? Okay, thanks. This is full. So you notice that the big ones make it hard to see the small ones. But this is a raw scale, how many people are registered to vote in every county. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them all on the same scale so you can look at the shape of every one. I'm going to show it on a percentage scale. So this is every one of your counties in your state. What you're going to notice is it used to be random what percent of your people were registered. But starting in 2014, they all surged. That ain't natural. There's something going on. That's not a natural thing. All your counties didn't grow. That's a manipulation. Okay. Now they're all registered in the same ways. Yes.
There's a green line and a red line right at the peak there.
Yeah. We can look them up.
Which one?
We can look them up.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be happy to look them up. This is a screenshot, not an actual graph. I'll take you to the Excel spreadsheet. Ask me later. I'll bring it up. That's a fair question. Okay, we can do the same thing with votes. How many votes were cast in every county? And you notice that the pattern is very similar. Isn't it interesting that they're voting in the same percentages? It's very interesting. Very interesting. If I put them all on the same scale, what do you notice? They used to vote in a different percentage. Now they vote all in the same percentage. That's what you call a controlled election, a centrally controlled election. That is not a natural phenomenon. Every county in your state is voting just like every other county. Doesn't matter whether it's black, white, green, Mexican, Chinese, I don't care. They're all voting in sync, yeah. Well, but you understand it? But you understand it now? Yeah. Cha-ching! I can make the math easy. But now you're getting it. You're preaching my song, girl. Thank you very much. Yeah. Are you married? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm married. I'm 42 years. Yeah.
Who was the Secretary of State in 2014? And I know the answer, but does everybody else know?
I don't know the answer.
Brian Kemp.
If you take a picture of that, flip it upside down, and look at it in the mirror, it spells sucker.
Do you feel duped?
Yes.
Good. You should feel duped because you are. And you got to wake up and you got to say, we're not going to let you steal our ballots from us anymore. You have to think of it that way. You have to stop rolling over and letting them take your elections from you. Okay. No. And I have a whole series of slides I can show you if you want me to show you. I can take you back into the 90s and show you exactly when this started in the country. Okay. All right. Here's your county, Floyd County. So here's your population, looks like you're pretty flat actually. You have not grown much. Does that match? Yep. I mean, since 2008, maybe you've grown a percent or two. You're pretty flat. So this is your voting age population. And here's your voter rolls. You have the same problem. The same problem. And look, if this black line had just gone straight across, what would have happened? You'd like have a 90% turnout. In other words, you're mirroring exactly what the whole state is doing. That's my point. They're all the same, every county, and it's not just you. By the way, I can do the simple trend. You got 26% too many people in your voter rolls. 16,000 of the people in your voter rolls don't belong there. And Gary was telling me, oh, they're cleaning the voter rolls. Yeah, it looks like it to me too. Not very much. Not the real problem. It's like you go to the doctor and he says, we're going to, take out one of your 20 tumors, right? You haven't solved the problem. You got to get them all. Yeah.
So, I've looked at all the elections in Boyd County, all statewide elections. In 2020, the general election, there were 36,000 votes in Boyd County that we don't have any ballot scanners, we don't have any receipts.
36,000?
36,000.
Twice that number.
Twice that number. Now, you have to ask yourself, was that consequential in that election? Was that 36,000? Would it have made a difference?
Heck yeah.
Trump lost by what?
Yes. Just that alone.
Just Boyd County alone is missing those key receipts.
And it's not just you, because I'm doing now is I'm flipping through a bunch of counties so you can see you're not alone.
I've done 12 years.
Okay, and what I'm going to do here, I'm trying to go fast because I'm trying to get through this. I'm going to show you every county. Give me a second. Okay, here you go. Here's every single county in your state. And you notice sometimes the black line goes above the blue line. Every single county, you see, there was one, there's another one, there's another one, there's another one. In other words, every county has the same exact behavior. So guess what? I'm not implicating the locals. The whole state's the problem, and the problem is that the state is centrally controlling your election. That's the problem. Okay? It's not your local people. Your local people are running a system that's totally porous and hackable. Okay. Now, let me do it this way. I can do the same thing this way for every one of your counties. And you notice that every one of your counties has the same problem. There are 100. Do I need to continue that? I think you got the point. Here's the total. I can show you for every single county how many excess they have. When you total it all up for the state, it's 2.2 million. Walker, he said Walker, 16,000 too many. And when you total it up, you guess what? That 2.2 million, guess what that is? That's that amount. There you go. It all adds up for the whole state. Yeah.
So it's interesting because I did an extrapolation because I didn't look at all the counties.
Yeah.
But I looked at 12 counties, and when you extrapolate that out, it was 2.1 million above.
2.4?
It was almost the same number that you had up there.
Big surprise.
Those are the receipts that are missing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you have a huge problem there. Now, you haven't seen this because I just did this. I did this for you guys. So what this graph is across the bottom is the age. I know for every age in your county how many people you have. So it looks like you have about 1.4 something million, 1.4 thousand 18-year-olds. And it looks like you got about 1,300 55-year-olds. This blue curve is your population by age in your county. Got it? Population by age. You notice that you don't have a lot of 110-year-olds. Okay? And people start to die after about age 60, which is why that drops off. So that's your population. Okay? Now, in 2020, everybody who's registered, everybody, that includes the inactives, is this top gray line. That's all everybody who's registered. Okay? And then who's considered an active registered voter by age is this dark, here we go, yes, here we go, the dark heavy black line. So these are considered your active voters. And so you notice you got every single one of these people registered to vote, all your 72-year-olds. If you watch Scientific Proof, that movie, I explain how they make the shape of that graph. I haven't done it yet, but when I do this for every county in your state, guess what? I'm going to be able to predict that black shape for every single county. By age, because I know they're using that algorithm. That's what I have been teaching people. Who voted is this red curve. You see this red curve? This is who voted in 2020 by age. And I just want you to look at the shape of the black curve and the shape of the red curve for a minute. Just look at those two curves. The black curve and the red curve, and what do you notice? They track each other in a very interesting way, huh? Guess what? Every county in Georgia is going to follow that exact same pattern. I'm going to be able to predict by age in every county. How do I know? I haven't even done it yet because I've done it in 47 other states and I've been able to do it there. You're going to be no different. The point is, this ratio is what's controlling how many ballots get stuffed. And that's why you extrapolated your single county, it predicted the whole state. That's why this works, because it's the same. Anyway, I've done this analysis. Now, why would I do the statistical analysis? Does this prove any fraud? No, but you got some very suspicious behavior out here. You got ridiculous amount of turnout and ridiculous amount of voters. In other words, you have, imagine what really should happen is about 80% of your older people should be in the voter rolls. So this black line should be right in here somewhere. But it's inflated. Why is it mostly in the older people? Because those are the ones that are dead but not taken out yet. Those are the ones that moved away but not taken out yet. And so what happens is it crowds this blue line. In a lot of places I go around the country, this black line goes past the blue line. Their voter rolls are so dirty. Okay, so, but think about it. If this black line was where it's supposed to be, the red curve would be too high. So that's why you have to keep the voter rolls dirty.
Where's the spread that they have to fill the ballots?
Say that again?
Where in that graph can you determine how many new ballots need to fill the rolls?
The ratio, okay. I have a way to answer that, because I had to write a Supreme Court brief to describe this. And let me just show it to you. You'll like this. This is an example that I explained to you. So this is in Missoula, Montana. I used Missoula, Montana because I had really good data. I knew when every ballot was cast, the time of day to the minute when every ballot was cast. So this is their population by age in Missoula, from about 15 years up to about 110 years old. Here's who is in their voter rolls, total by age, and then here's who is considered an active voter in their voter rolls. So in other words, everybody above 65 is actively voting, I guess, in Missoula, which I don't believe, but you get the point. And then here's who voted in 2020. Wow. It's like 98% of everybody above 45 voted or something like that. That's preposterous, yes? It's preposterous. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Here's who voted by mail. The blue curve is who voted by mail. And this is who voted in person. And I just want you to notice that the shape of who votes in person is not the same as the shape of who votes in mail. And what I did is I did this for every county in Montana. And I noticed that this shape of who votes in person, I can't predict. But I can predict when I add in who voted by mail. I can predict the shape in every county. What did I just say? If you have in-person elections, I can't predict the outcomes.
And it just so happens that when you look at the missing receipts, this is just matching up to the research. It's all in advance voting is where the
Yes.
receipts are missing.
Yes,
In advance
it is. It's in the non-chain of custody ballots and advance, yes. So let me show you the same data in a different way and you'll understand. So here's the active registrants. This is the same data from the previous graph. Here's who voted in person. I have no doubt that that's real. And then what they've done is they fill in to the same shape in every county, the same shape with absentee voters. Now, some of those are real. Some of those are real absentee. And we went out and did the canvassing, and this is what we found. The 18%, this is the real voters. Here are the real voters. This blue area is the real voters who voted by mail. And what are they doing? They're filling in everywhere else. Think about it. If you're gonna stuff ballots, you can't just stuff a bunch of 60-year-olds, you go right past the line. You have to stuff according to some kind of algorithm. And that's what I talk about in scientific proof. I can tell you what that algorithm is.
You see more of it at the older age.
Yes, you do, because that's where the rolls are dirtier. And the real algorithm is what they're doing is they're looking for the inactive voters, the ones that are the low propensity voters. Because if you're going to stuff a ballot, you look and you say, well, who hasn't voted? Well, dead people don't vote very often. That's why their ballots get stuffed for them. So you get the point. All right, I could go on. I think maybe that's a good place to stop. And is that a good place to stop, Thomas? Okay.